Hi, everybody. So, this is episode 7, part 48, and on YT, part 11. And as a reminder to all my new followers, this whole channel is about rediscovering the history of our beautiful island. These videos are for all of us, born and raised outside of the island, so that we can better understand our history, our culture, and who we are as a people. I have covered so many forgotten Taino and Taina warriors so far. And in this part, le toca a los Tainos de Higüey. And the thing is, Higüey was the last part of the island to be pacified. But because they were so belicosos or warlike, we don't have a lot of information of individual Tainos of Higüey. I've taken all the bits and pieces that we have and have put them all together so that we can learn a little bit about all of the Tainos that we know of from Higüey. The first mentions of Higüey and its kingdom come from the second voyage of Colón. When after he comes back looking for La Navidad, he looks for Guacanagari. So Guacanagari was the cacique of the Cacicasco of Marian, the pink one here, and he needed to speak to him urgently. So after getting all the details about what happened to La Navidad, Guacanagari tries to make an alliance with Colón. And part of that alliance was informing him about the political structure of the island. So he tells Colón about the different caciques who govern these sections of the island: Jaragua, Beecho, Maguana, Caunabo, Magua, Guarionet. And in the farthest eastern kingdom named Higüey, there was an older cacique named Iguanama. At least that's what Bartolomé de las Casas tells us. We have some contradictory information about who exactly was the cacique in this kingdom. Through Oviedo, we hear that it's not Iguanama who is the cacique anyway. It's someone else called Cayacoa. Now it's actually believed that Oviedo was confused. Cayacoa was actually a section or a province in Higüey, and that the cacique of that province was probably also named Cayacoa. He gives little details though, that supposedly he had a wife, and the wife was called Inés de Cayacoa, and that she later on married Miguel Diaz. We already know that Miguel Diaz was with a cacica de Santo Domingo. Did he maybe have children with her and then also with Inés de Cayacoa? The facts are kind of all jumbled up. However, it is currently believed that yes, the cacique of Higüey at the time of Colón's arrival was Iguanama. Bartolomé also notes that he's not sure if Iguanama was like her actual name or if it was like the title of the cacique in this area. He says maybe it was like Pharaoh, Pharaoh being the title of the Egyptian kings, not their name. Being farther east, Higüey was not at the center of the conquest when it began. It ended up being isolated, really, from the rest of the island. What we do know up to now is that the Tainos in this area are assumed to have been los CIGUAYOs, who were known to be great warriors, unafraid to attack, unafraid to protect their territory. Bartolomé de las Casas describes the CIGUAYOs of Higüey as being known warriors, belicosos, who usually confronted any unknown visitors with their canoes armed with poisoned arrows. As the stranger approached, they would signal to them that they were going to bind them and take them prisoners. Because Higüey was captured last or conquered last, we have more details about the people, the technology of this region. We also have more detailed descriptions of the people, their behavior, and their reaction towards the Spanish. When the Spanish began conquering the other areas of the island, people fled towards Higüey. As the name Higüey meant, it is believed it meant hijos del sol o de piedra, depending on the Taino dialect. Being part of the CIGUAYO kingdom, their fame preceded them, so the other Tainos quickly thought of them as their refuge. It was never recorded what exactly happened to La Cacica Iguanama. What is described by Bartolomé de las Casas is that she was hung very early on in the conquest, because the Spanish believed that if they could get rid of the caciques, they could easily dominate the people. But apparently, Iguanama wasn't the principal cacica of the area. There were others who were more powerful. The only mention of Cayacoa, like I said earlier, was from Oviedo, and he says that this cacique also died very early on. So with these two caciques out of the way, Santo Domingo being established in 1496, and La Fortaleza Osama, the wooden one, not the one that's there now, up and erected, they decided to basically impose a tribute to El Cacique de Higüey. This cacique, though, is not mentioned by name. We have no idea what he was called. But this cacique was ordered to provide tribute in form of cassave, and he happily complied. He did not fight back against the Spanish. So he planted rows and rows of yucca in order to make this cassave. And from Santo Domingo, they would send out boats to transport the cassave, because this was the cacique of La Isla Saona, or Adamanay. And this arrangement was established for a long time, peacefully. But then one particular boat, called La Salamanca, the captain of this boat was on good terms with the cacique. Bartolomé de las Casas describes how the cacique would readily hurry his people so that they would load the boat so that they could leave fast. But on one of these trips, one of the sailors had a dog.